Should you pay off debt or invest? Wrong question, huh, technically. The right question is, which interest rate is higher, your debt or your potential return? That's the only comparison that actually matters. Whether you pay down debt first or start investing now depends entirely on that answer. A credit card at 20% and a student loan at a low fixed rate are not the same financial problem. Even though both get called debt, the 20% card compounds constantly. Interest gets added to your balance, and next month you pay interest on that interest too. A low fixed rate loan doesn't do that. It sits at a predictable cost and stays there. Compare your debt rate to what a broad market index has historically returned, roughly high single digits on average, though that number moves year to year and is never guaranteed. Noticeably above that, it behaves like the 20% card. At or below it, it behaves like the fixed loan. Check the actual rate on each debt before assuming which category it falls into. Credit cards listed as APR on your statement. Loans have it in the original agreement. Feelings are great at parties, terrible at spreadsheets. This matters because two debts can look identical on the surface and behave completely differently underneath. Same monthly payment, same remaining balance, wildly different cost of waiting. That's what actually decides whether you pay off debt or invest, not which option sounds more responsible. Paying off a card charging 20% locks and a 20% return? No risk attached. No investment offers that with certainty. A retirement account has historically returned somewhere in the high single digits over long stretches of time. Not promised, some years higher, some lower, sometimes negative. A locked-in 20% beats an uncertain high single-digit average. Every time. Say a balance of $2,000 sits on a card at 20%. Left untouched for a year, that balance grows by roughly $400 in interest alone. Put that same $2,000 toward the balance instead, and you avoid that $400. No question. Put it into an investment account, and the expected gain is smaller on average, with no such promise attached. That doesn't mean investing has no place until debt hits zero. The order depends entirely on the rate. Now run the same comparison on a lower rate debt. Say a student loan carries a 5% fixed rate on $3,000. That's about $150 in interest over a year, and that's certain. Paying it off early saves that $150. Investing that same $3,000 instead at a historical high single-digit average could reasonably be expected to earn more over the same period. Though again, nothing's guaranteed. At a low rate, the comparison flips. Investing becomes the stronger option on average. That's the actual math behind the payoff debt versus invest debate you see argued everywhere online. Step 1. Build a small emergency cushion first, even a modest one. Without it, a single car repair or medical bill becomes brand new high-interest debt, and any progress you made gets wiped out immediately. Most financial educators suggest starting with enough to cover 1 or 2 months of essential expenses before tackling the high-interest debt itself, then building the cushion further later. The exact size depends on how stable your income is and how comfortable you are with risk. Step 2. If your employer offers any kind of matching contribution on a retirement account, contribute enough to capture the full match. In most cases, that match is free money. Skipping it to pay a low-rate loan slightly faster means giving up a return larger than almost anything else available. No match available? Skip this step and move straight to Step 3. Step 3. Attack the high-interest debt aggressively. Every extra dollar goes there until it's gone. Automate that extra payment and set it to fire the same day your paycheck lands before that money gets any other ideas. Step 4. Once the high-interest debt is cleared, split additional money between the remaining low-rate debt and your investment contributions based on your own numbers and goals. Multiple high-interest debts get ranked the same way. Highest rate first, regardless of balance size. A smaller balance at a higher rate gets paid down before a larger balance at a lower rate, because the rate, not the size, determines the cost of leaving it alone. This approach has a name. It's often called the debt avalanche method, and it's the mathematically fastest way to clear multiple balances. Watch for introductory rates too. Some cards offer a low or 0% rate for a limited window before jumping to a much higher one. Treat that debt as low interest only for as long as the introductory period actually lasts, then reassess it the moment that window closes. If this breakdown is useful to you, a like helps this reach someone working through the same decision. The order above is mathematically optimal, but personal finance isn't purely math. Carrying debt creates real stress, whatever the rate attached to it. If paying off a low-rate loan faster meaningfully reduces that stress and keeps you consistent with saving overall, that trade can be worth making. A plan you abandon after 3 months because it felt too rigid loses to a slightly less optimal plan you actually follow for years. Consistency wins. A hard rule like never invest a cent until debt hits zero can backfire for the same reason. Low fixed-rate debt dragged out for years just to clear it faster costs a long stretch of potential compound growth for a debt that was never the urgent problem in the first place. Splitting extra money between debt and investing, even at a small ratio, is a reasonable trade once you're below that high interest threshold. That's investing while paying off debt, and it works well there. It just doesn't apply to the 20% card. There, the cost of carrying it outweighs whatever comfort a balanced approach buys you. So here's the actual answer. Small cushion first, employer match captured along the way, high interest debt attacked aggressively, then a deliberate split between remaining debt and investing. List every debt you carry by interest rate, not by balance and not by how urgent it feels. Add your retirement account's typical long-term return next to that list. That comparison usually makes the next step obvious. Rates change over time, especially on variable rate cards. So revisit that list every few months rather than deciding once and forgetting about it. This is general information to help you think through the decision, not personalized financial advice for your specific situation. A financial professional can look at your full picture in a way a video never can. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you in the next one.